extinguish the chalice in recognition of the formal part of our service, and now we're going to celebrate.
All right, let's put these two up. You just sit down. So, it's a very special day. Kristen and McKinley are getting married next weekend. And we wish you so many blessings. We can't tell you how many are overflowing in our hearts for you too. And I just wanted to sit them up there because they look so cute. And we're going to celebrate your marriage and you in the reception outside in the grassy yard, whatever we call it.
I think it's called the Grove.
The Grove is the word that would not come to my head, with cake and a few other words. So I just want to, and right now though, we're going to focus a bit on McKinley. Okay, and we want you both here today. So McKinley has finished his time at Princeton and his Master's of Divinity and his student ministry with us. And today, Daniel and I wanted to just take a few moments to thank him in the congregation for his service and acknowledge what a fine minister he is developing into and what a fine human being he is and a blessing he's been to this community this year. I was saying, when it was his last Sunday of service, my main thing was, no! I was pouting. McKinley, you are scholarly and intelligent. William and Mary and Princeton are the places where he has diplomas from. Not a bad list, but you wouldn't know that just from conversation from him because the man never brags. He's such a humble guy, such an outstanding student in intellect, which he brings to his adult spiritual development and the staff team and the pulpit. He's wonderful for people to talk with about issues of religion that matter. He can go from a Princeton PhD conversation to talking in the Acme parking lot with anybody who's interested in issues of spirituality. And that's a serious skill set for a minister today going forward, and he's got it. And I've seen it. His preaching has been valuable. He has a lot of different cultural resources. He preached on the Hunger Games and the Bible back and forth and brought it all in. No easy feat. He is good at receiving feedback. Daniel and I have been partnering and supervising McKinley this year, and I know a lot of folks have given him feedback. He really hears people and integrates it, thinks about it, prays on it, and makes changes where needed. That's a great modeling for all of us in our lives. Who doesn't need that skill set in how we live our lives of anything? Children's stories are amazing, this guy. Do people remember the time he took off his shoes? And he's very, very good at the children's stories and interacting with the kids. One more thing I want to say. There are a lot of stories which are more confidential because you just don't tell all the pastoral stories. Such a pastoral heart. Many people on the margins of society who have a tougher road have received tender, loving care. This man has gone beyond the call of duty many hours and days helping people who have some tough struggles. And Daniel and I have seen that and deeply have been inspired by it.
Yeah, it's hard to really to add, and it's hard to say enough about Ken and his ministry here. It really has been a blessing to our congregation, and to me personally, to have Ken as a colleague sharing an office together and going out on assignment together, and just really seeing how his caring isn't just something that's confined to the four walls of this church, but really is something that he lives and breathes out there in the world. It's Ken all the time, a very caring, gentle, and humble soul. I've had the chance to see him interact with the children in our children's chapel. Many of you know that on the first Sunday of each month, we have a children's chapel, a worship service with the kids, and Ken has often led music, has brought his guitar to teach the kids songs, and it's always just, it's an absolute love fest to see him in action with the children and how engaged they are as he makes music with them. And in our youth group, our growing and dynamic youth group, Ken has added that much more energy and dynamism to it, going as far as being a chaperone to them when they went to New York City to visit the UN and the UUNO. A courageous, I think, act to go. I mean, if that was the only thing that he did, it would have been enough. I feel like I should sing a song about that. And in the young adult group, he's really taken the young adult group off of the ground to a new level here at USG. We have a young adult group for our kind of younger 20s, mid-20s, because of Ken and his efforts. And I'm excited that because of his leadership and inspiration, they're going to keep going. And that's something that he's brought to us. And lastly, like, I've had the chance to see Ken, again, this kind of caring that exists beyond the walls of the church. One night when we were coming home from young adult celebration at the Iron Hill Brewery, there was a person, which is a great place to have religious experiences. There was a person who, for whatever reason, was stranded in Chestnut Hill and had a very far way to go out to one of the southern suburbs or western suburbs. And Ken drove this man across town late at night to Center City to take, I guess, the last train out home. And I just stood there in awe thinking, wow, this kid is crazy. No, but then, again, how kind and compassionate and loving. And I called him later on because I wanted to make sure that he survived this episode of kindness. And he did, thankfully. And I'm just amazed, absolutely amazed by Ken. So the question about what to do next. Of course, we're going to miss you here at USG, not just the services that you provide here as student minister, but you as a presence. We're going to miss that intensely. And I want to send you off into the world with our blessing and with these words that you might find very meaningful. And they come from Micah 6:8. He hath showed thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. So may you do that, and blessings on both of you.
So we have a gift to McKinley for his ministry. These are chimes that can be used in worship or any programmings of retreats or spiritual development for you, dear friend.
Well, when KP and I were walking up to church after being stuck in traffic for a little bit, she looked over at me and said, "You're not doing anything or saying anything today, are you?" And I said, "God, I hope not." But here we are. I want to say thank you to Reverend Kent and Reverend Daniel and to every living, breathing person in this room for welcoming me this year, for taking a kid from Texas who identifies as a Christian and welcoming them to your home with, I think, appropriate wariness at first, but then with more than appropriate love and reception following. It's been a great honor and a great blessing. And even when we move to DC, USG will always be home to me. So thank you.
Not like it's a Sunday afternoon. Girl, back up. Julia, you over here. You over here. Dada, you over here.
Dada, I only have one bubble. You're
Quiet.
Okay. We want to center our energy for a brief moment to McKinley and Kristen. So you guys, McKinley and Kristen, kids, can you hear me? They're getting married next weekend, and we all want to wish them well. So I was thinking we could say together, blessings to you. Okay, so on three, let's say, 1, 2, 3. Blessings to you. Okay, so we have some cake to celebrate their wedding, and you can greet them and wish them well. Blessings to you guys.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. So, we have a special
We have a card, and we got people. And we have gifts. People have been generous, and we have a financial gift from the congregation to them. If you still want to give to it, you can. We'll cut a second check. But this is our wedding card, and the check to them from the entire congregation. And there's also cards to sign.
I usually get that.
You can get that. If people want to give me money for the next check, you can.
All right, so kids.
Wait, look, chocolate and
Sorry. Okay. Can I help you in some way? Yes, please. Yes. I need help, but I'm good at being militant with these things.
Yeah, we need
Everybody's cake.
All right. No, we are going to take the plates and we are going to pass out the cake. Okay? And you get what you get. You don't get upset.
It was. I have to say, Mike and I often talk about style.
Yeah, but he has good careers.
Play soccer? What's your favorite?
I'd like for you to maybe have it so that you can have your slice.
You think the goalie? So you think
True that
you should stay in the middle more?
staying in the middle more actually typically works better. But
Raina, did you want some, honey? Yes, you need a spoon. Micah, go there and get you 2 spoons.
because you're supposed to look and see where they plant it.
Wait, your spoon, Ellie. Raina, did you want some?
Mike and I are just starting to
He's kind of moving.
So much of his like connection to the world.